So, Mr. Imran, my next question is, you know that nowadays every student wants to go to university for higher education. Can you please guide us? Is there any way that students can avoid university debt?
Yes, definitely. Students can avoid university debts, but unfortunately, lots of students they don't have information like how they can avoid university debts. Obviously there are various ways, but I'm here in this video. I'm just going to explain you one very powerful way they can
Mhm.
avoid university debts. When students complete their university degree, they get into debts like £60,000 for the whole degree because
Okay.
university fee it costs around 10 or 12,000 pound per year, but it's not just the university fee, they need other money for other expenses as well. So around 10,000 pound per year for other expenses like accommodation, food, buying books, stationery, clothes, everything. Although they get loan from they are called student loans, they get loan, but eventually they will have to pay them back. so
Mhm.
so on average a student gets into debts like 50 to 60,000 pound once they complete their degree. So what they can do is nowadays, there's a really good program available which is called a degree apprenticeship, and very few students know about it. Degree
Mhm.
apprenticeship is so good that once they what they have to do is when the students are in the beginning of year 12, beginning of year 13, they can
Mhm.
start applying for degree apprenticeship in different companies. And in United Kingdom, almost all the big companies they are offering a degree apprenticeship. So what they can do, they apply for degree apprenticeship. So the company, whoever the company will hire them, they will pay for their university degree. And not only that, they will also pay them salary as well. And their salary, it can be anything between 20,000 to 30,000 pounds per year. So this way, they will not get into university debts because everything will be paid by the company. They still have to go to university to attend classes, but on top of that, they will be working for a company as well. And the beauty of this degree apprenticeship is like once they will complete their degree, they will have experience as well, like working in a corporate environment for 3 to 4 years. They will have experience as well. So degree apprenticeship is really good, and I believe getting into debts is not a good idea. Students should not get into debts. Instead, they should definitely apply for degree apprenticeship. And this is very important. I don't know why, because I teach A-level students as well, and they don't know about degree apprenticeship. And I don't know why, whether it has not been promoted very well by the government or there is some other reason, but this degree apprenticeship is very important, and this is the best way to avoid university debts,
Thank
right?
you very much for this very good information, Mr. Imran. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Imran, you told us about the degree apprenticeship program, and that was very useful information. But for instance, if a child does not get selected in this particular program, do you think there is any other way to avoid the debt?
You mean the university debts?
Yeah, of course, the university debt.
University. Oh, yeah. Basically, obviously, for degree apprenticeship, it's not easy to get into degree apprenticeship because there are quite big requirements to get into degree apprenticeship program. So
Mhm.
if a student cannot get into degree apprenticeship program, what my personal suggestion is, obviously, it's my personal suggestion is that
Mhm.
nowadays there are so many short courses available. Like if you go on Google and you type IT training with a job guarantee, right? There are so many IT training providers. They will train you within 2 to 3 months time, and then they give you job guarantee as well. So students can go into those kind of programs. They can get into university, they can get into they can get training, and once they get the training, then they can get into the job. And when they will start earning, because especially in IT sector, the people get paid really well. So then it will be very easy for them to self-finance their degree. So the nowadays degrees are available, like online degrees are available as well. Plus, if a
Okay.
student wants to go to the university physically, that is also possible. So what I would suggest that if a student cannot get selected into university degree program
Mhm.
or a degree apprenticeship program, sorry, then what they can do is they can get into IT training or maybe any other short training. Once they do that, then they can get into a proper job, and then they can very easily afford their university expenses. It's not difficult. And I personally know lots of my students, they are doing it. So what they did, they did exactly the same thing. They went into the university or they went online. They typed like IT training with a job guarantee. They got the training, then they were selected, and once they got selected, they started getting money, and then whether their company started paying for their university expense, or it was very easy for them to afford the university expenses, and they got the degree. But my personal suggestion is that every student must get university degree. It's very important. Once you have a university degree, then there are so many ways, and lots of opportunities opens for them as well,
Of
right?
course, again a very wonderful advice, and it will save the students from high debt loan as well. It will be a peace of mind for the students. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Hi, thank you.
I'm again, I'm coming back to the same question. You must be thinking I'm asking the same question again and again. So you have mentioned two ways to avoid the debt. First was the degree apprenticeship program, and the second was the IT courses. Still, I'm going to ask you the same question. Is there any other way, a third way in which students can avoid this university debt?
Yeah, I know personally some of my students, what they did, they worked very hard when they were in GCSE level, actually. So they started when they were at GCSE level, or once soon after finishing their GCSEs, they started their small businesses, whether online businesses, online selling, or digital marketing company, or maybe software company. Obviously, you need some skills for those kind of things. But I personally know lots of students, what they did, they started their own business soon after GCSEs, right?
Mhm.
And once they completed their A levels, so instead of getting into university through the route of the university the student loans, so what they did, they started financing their degree by themselves, because they were kind of businessmen, by that time. They were running their own business. So it was very easy for them to pay for their university, because university fee, end of the day, it looks like, quite a lot. But
Mhm.
actually, if you think of it, it's £10,000 per year. So it's not impossible, kind of, or £12,000, or maybe £15,000. But it's not impossible to save this much money, especially if you are in business. The other day, I was in a seminar, and that was something to do with the IT. And I
Mhm.
personally, I met few like 20 years old, 21 years old, 19 years old, very young millionaires. I mean,
Mhm.
they got into business at a very young age, at the age of 16, 15, 17, and now they are very successful businessmen. And on top of that, they are completing their degree as well. And
Mhm.
obviously, they are financing their degree by themselves. So
Mhm.
student loan is not the only way to get, to get into the university. Or there can be another reason, another way as well. If parents are, rich enough, they can afford the university degree. That's a different thing. But it's not easy nowadays for every parent. So
Yes.
I will suggest to youngsters that what they can do is they can start some business soon after their GCSEs. It can be online selling, it can be digital marketing company, or maybe a software house, anything, whatever their passion is. And they can definitely make enough money to afford their university cost. And it's not difficult, it's not impossible. The reason I'm saying impossible, because I myself have seen, I've met those people, those students who are financing their degree by themselves, and they are not into any debts. After 3 years of degree, once they will complete their degree, they will not have only just money, but they will have experience, and they will have more opportunities for open for them, right?
Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, my next question is a little bit different and interesting. I know that you've been guiding a lot of students, but can I ask you, is there any particular advice that you would like to give your younger self? Like if
My
you were
younger,
younger, yes, if you
okay.
were young, you could have done that particular thing differently.
Yeah, one thing I think which I learned very late in my life,
Mm-hmm.
which I always recommend to my all young students, like, they should develop a habit. And, when I teach privately, as I teach GCSE level students, I teach 11 plus students. I also teach A level students as well. So what I always, it's compulsory for all of my students, which this thing I learned very late in my life. But
Mm-hmm.
I will say, I should have learned it earlier. And that advice is that every student, it's compulsory for all of my students to
Mm-hmm.
have a gratitude journal. It's very important that a student should have a gratitude journal where they should write their blessings every day. So what I have done in my tuition center is that I have made it compulsory for all of my students to have a gratitude journal, and I've asked them to, you have to write every single day minimum 10 blessings before you go to bed. So you should be thankful for all things which you have got. Yeah, I mean, and I sometimes, obviously sometimes children are very young, they don't understand, so I guide them as well. But I'm sure lots of people know like all the blessings. It's a very important, because why I'm saying it, if you are thankful for all the blessings which you have, automatically you will start receiving more and more blessings. And I have experienced it myself, and I have seen, I have witnessed my students achieving quite a lot just because of gratitude journal. So for example, I keep this gratitude journal with me. It's on my bedside every night. Every night before I go to bed, I write in my gratitude journal. So this is very important, that we should write 10 blessings every night before we go to bed, and we should feel them. It's not just writing it, we
Of
should have
course.
a feeling from inside that we are actually blessed. And once you are blessed, then automatically more and more blessings will start coming in your life. And this is something which I believe I should have learned when I was very young, but I learned it a bit late, but still I've learned it. But the good thing is, what I'm doing it, I'm letting other people know about this information, and I'm trying to guide them so they can do the same thing. And I know that it works. It actually works. And it has been proven by lots of professors as well, lots of psychologists, lots of success gurus, lots of motivational speakers. They will always encourage you to have a gratitude journal with you. And every day you should write minimum 10 blessings. And I think this is something which is very important advice.
Sure, I have taken this advice for myself as well. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
So, Mr. Imran, my next question is very interesting. I know that you have been teaching students from GCSE, A levels, 11 plus, and a lot, and obviously guiding them in so many ways. But sometimes too much academic advice gets a little boring for the kids. Do you have any non-academic sweet advice for the kids?
Non-academic. Okay,
Yes.
no, one thing which it's compulsory for all of my students. I ask them almost every week. Which is, I think all the parents should teach their children as well, that whenever you go to someone's house, never go there without any gift or any prize or anything for them. Always take something with you. What I do personally is, whenever I visit someone, I always take whether gift for them or food item. What I personally believe, food item can be good, but food, again, the problem with food is that every household, they have their own liking and disliking about food. It's better to buy, maybe it can be a decoration piece or it can be any other thing, but definitely buy something for them. Never go without any gift. Whenever, this is something very important, and I teach all my students that always give gifts. And I give gifts to almost all my friends and family. Whenever I visit anyone, I always take something for them. And sometimes, if there are like 5 members of the family, I will buy individually gift for every person in the family. The reason is, if you start giving out gifts, what happens is more and more blessings will start coming in your life. So this is, and all once again, I will say that all the successful gurus, success gurus, or religious leaders, they all emphasize on this thing, that we should not go someone's house without any gift. Whenever you are visiting someone, take something with you. It can be a maybe small thing. It can be a small decoration piece. It can be even box of sweets. It can be a small toy for children. But definitely give something. Never go without a gift. This is something. It's non-academic. You asked me for non-academic. It is non-academic, and I make it compulsory for all of my students. They have to do it. They and they tell me. They always tell me that I went to see my cousin and I took this thing for them. They always tell me the story, and I like it. And this is something which I think all the parents should teach their children, that they should learn this thing from a very young age. Once children learn these things from this age, from very young age, when they are 11 plus students or GCSE level students, so it will help them a lot in their future. So this is something which is non-academic advice. I wanted to give you.
That's very sweet advice. I'm sure whenever they go to someone's house, they will always remember those particular students or all of us, that they are the people who brought us this something special.
Yeah.
So it's going to bring more and more memories for them.
Yeah, it's very important. Yeah, definitely. And yeah, that's what I highly recommend.
Thank you very much. My next question is very important, which a lot of people ignore in their life, and people and mostly students do not even know and don't know the importance of this question. This is about financial advice.
Financial
What
advice.
Yes, what advice would you give to the young students? How to manage their money, how to save their money, how to spend their money?
I think financial advice is a very important topic. And the problem is that, lots of parents, they don't teach their children, about how to manage the finances. And in most of the cases, even parents, they themselves, they don't manage their money very well as well. They don't know how to manage expenses. There's a very famous scholar in money management. His name is Dave Ramsey. So what Dave Ramsey says, that whatever you earn, no matter what money you are earning, whether it's £1,000 or £2,000 or £10,000, whatever you earn, you should divide your money into four portions.
Mm-hmm.
One portion you should be using for yourself, which is 70% of your money. Whatever the money you are earning, 70% of that money you should be using for yourself. 10% you should be using for the charitable purposes. Just give it away. Give it away to the charities. Any charity you support, or wherever you feel, someone needs money, 10% of that money you should give to them. Other 10% you should be using for your family or your friend or your relatives. Or if you are in a business or if you are in a job, 10%, the remaining 10%, what you should do, you should whether reinvest in your business that money, or you can, if you are in a job, so you can invest that money, 10%, save 10 money, and you can acquire more skills. Maybe it can be some computer courses, it can be, any other skill which you can acquire, and it will help you in your professional life as well. So please remember, this is something which I always encourage my not very young students, but A-level students. I encourage them to develop this habit from this age, that whatever the money or the pocket money when you get, you should be spending 70% of that only on yourself. 10% you should be spending on other people like charity, or and 10% for your family and friends, and 10% you should be reinvesting or saving it. This is very important. And trust me, Ifra, what happens is, like, if nowadays, for example, if someone youngster starts a job and he starts getting maybe £2,000 salary per month, it's very easy, or maybe £1,000 a month, even if it's 1,000, doesn't matter. From £1,000, it's very easy to save 10% or give away 10%. But imagine once they will start earning £1 million a year, in that case, it will be very difficult for them to give away the money to the charitable purpose, or to your family or friends, or for your saving. So what they need to do is they need to develop this habit from this age, from very young age, to so that they can manage their finances and never get into debts. Try to avoid debts in all the forms, whether it's a credit card debt or car loan, or maybe any other type of personal loan. Everyone should avoid, because here what happens is, it's very easy for youngsters to get into debts. So they should avoid it, because debts have not been encouraged in any society. Debts have not been encouraged in any religion as well. Across the board, in any religion, they are not allowed. They are not encouraged, basically. But if it's really compulsory, then yes, you can get into debts, but otherwise you should avoid debts. So money management is very important. So remember, the rule is 70%, 10%, 10%, and 10%. 70% for yourself, once again, 10 for charitable purposes, 10 for your family and friends, and 10 for reinvestment or saving. Right?
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So you reckon it was a good advice?
Of course, it is a very wonderful advice. Nobody would have thought that you can make fractions of
Yeah. I
amount of the money.
recently came across this advice through Dave Ramsey, and he is quite good in giving people financial advices.
Thank you very much. I honestly have noted down it for myself as well, and for the kids that I meet on everyday basis.
Right. Okay. All right. Thank you.